Socrative is a free online classroom response system. Socrative is a smart student response system that empowers teachers to engage their classroom through a series of educational exercises and games via smartphone, laptops, and tablets. Today we will discuss the planning and writing portion when required that's required when using the classroom response system such as Socrative. The first thing we need to do is talk about defining a clear purpose. The effective educational use of classroom response systems require careful planning and attention to the learning objectives. Before designing your question slides, make sure that you use your interactive participation technology that is linked to clear educational objectives. The classroom response system should be used for the following types of purposes: to expose and clarify students' misconceptions, to differentiate between easier and more difficult concepts, to promote interactivity and discussion in large group case based learning, to elicit and discuss diverse points of view when there is no correct answer, for example, ethics, to administer an effective review session, a mock exam that gives immediate feedback, to assess mastery of content, to provide immediate feedback on the value of the learning session. Designing effective questions. The classroom response system is just technology, and its value depends on the effective design of questions to meet the selected purpose. For example, it's better to use questions that require application of knowledge to solve problems if the instructor's goal is to expose and to clarify misconceptions. Questions focusing on rote recall of specific facts and details are less helpful in this context. On the other hand, if running a mock session, then the questions should be designed to reflect the full scope of the questions of the real exam: easy, hard, applied, basic facts, etc. In all cases, the value of the classroom response system depends on using questions that elicit a distribution of responses on an appropriate level of questions so that the instructor can discuss, clarify, and promote student interaction and discussion. Good planning for a session should include anticipating the possible answers that you might get to each question and the steps that you would take to respond to those questions to help ensure that there is successful audience interaction. Consider the following tips and techniques for using the classroom response system. You should keep the questions short and simple, be brief. Avoid confusing questions with multiple correct answers. Have no more than 5 answer slides. And also number all question options to match the keypad. For example, do not use letters. Tips for best practices. When preparing the audience with a prepare the audience with a warm-up question. Allow adequate time for discussion for the response results. Build in 1 or 2 minutes for presenting the polling question for at least a 2 to 3 minute discussion. Never leave a polling slide without responding to the distribution of responses. You should also include the students in the discussions of the result. Ask students to discuss discrepancies among themselves in pairs for a minute and then repoll. Introduce information or facts that should help to lessen the confusion of students and repoll before providing the correct answer. Consider a comparable follow-up question to see if the students really get it. Use question slides when understanding a concept or critical concept preceding the new content. So that is Socrative setting up. I hope that you have enjoyed this lesson. The next lesson will include writing the actual questions on a slide. Thank you.